I'm going to show how to replace the parts of our coupler using part number CRK. Actually, this is the RCRK because it has our bent handle, but the procedures are the same for both the CRK and the RCRK. So the kit, of course, consists of these 4 pieces: our pin, spring, handle, and 2-way lock nut. We're assuming that you've already removed the parts and pieces of your coupler and you're ready to reassemble using these new pieces. So the first thing I'm doing is grabbing our pin. There is a particular orientation of the pin, but I'm inserting the pin from the what would be the passenger side of the coupler. This here is the driver's side, and this would be the passenger side. I'm rotating the pin back to a particular point where I know it needs to be when the process is totally finished. It is possible to put the pin in 180 degrees the wrong way. So the pin's inserted. I'm going to grab the spring, and the spring has a particular spot on it here that drops into a groove very nicely, and it just sets into position. I've got to keep a hold of this pin so it doesn't drop out, but at this point I'm taking the handle, which has an index shape to it that fits the pin. I kind of have to lower the pin a little bit so that I can fit the handle between this hook of the spring and the top of the pin here. I'm then going to push the pin upwards, and at this point what I have to do is find a happy medium where I can rotate the handle and just set the handle so that it's held under spring tension against this stop, the handle stop here. I have enough threads showing on my pin that I can get the lock nut started on the pin. By the way, this is a 2-way lock nut. So what that means is no matter which direction you put it on, it has a locking ability both directions. And you would know that very quickly if you're trying to put one on by hand. I'm only going to be able to get about a thread or 2 on there, and then it begins to get very difficult to put on. So at this point, I am ready to zip the nut on. Our recommendation is the use of a impact. This all can be done with regular hand tools, but it sure makes the process a little easier with an impact. There is not a torque setting for this nut. It's our suggestion that this nut just be torqued down tight. I will show you when we're done what the threads look like at the end of the nut, kind of signifying that you have the nut completely tight. So I'm just going to hit this nut. I've went on as far as I can, and the pin surface has just started to come through the end of the nut here. And the next thing I'm going to do is check for rotation of the handle, and you should be able to pull the handle back and release it and have a nice snap back forward. You will know that the pin is correctly installed when the handle is in this forward position like so, against the stop. You can look right in the coupler and see this flat surface area right in this, what I call this window of the coupler. That's the surface that contacts the ball and creates the motion of our handle as it sets down on the ball. This is the correct method of installation. If you don't see this flat surface, then you have installed this pin 180 degrees out of sync. This is the position of the pin when the handle is in the open position. So I've pulled the handle all the way back as if though I'm going to lift the trailer off the ball, and this is what you see inside the coupler. Everything is installed properly, and this thing is ready to be reinstalled on the truck.